Okay, this is a review of the Kitchen in the Box 6-quart stand mixer. So far, my thoughts. It's pretty light and it feels kind of cheap. I hate to say it. This thing weighs in just probably just under 10 pounds. And then the bowl that it comes with is really light and thin, and it just comes under about 1 pound and 2.4 ounces. So actually 16 ounces is a pound, so yeah, so about a pound and 2 ounces, 5 ounces. Okay. So yeah, my initial thoughts, I would say, is that this thing feels pretty cheap. Unfortunately, it's made out of plastic, and it's completely plastic. It comes with this flour guard. Here are the tools that it comes with. There's a whisk, egg beater, the dough hook. It has an egg strainer here, and then this attachment, I forget what this is called, and obviously the bowl, and this is again the flour guard, and then this thing kind of just comes down. It locks into place. It's a nice, handsome design, I would say. It looks pretty cool, but it is fairly light. Compared to my mother-in-law's KitchenAid, she has I think it's an 80. It's the older KitchenAid back when the brand was good, and I think the gears inside were metal. It was really robust. A lot of people would say that before KitchenAid was taken over by, I forgot who the American company, the other company is, they were, that was when they were really good. That stand mixer is fairly heavy. It's more heavier. It feels much more robust, and the bowl feels much more substantial. And I think that's the kind of issue that I had with this, is that this bowl feels pretty thin. I mean, the gauge is thinner than, this is our salad bowl. We just had some salad, and I feel like this bowl, like if I were to weigh it, I would say, yeah, maybe this bowl about 22.34 ounces, and then this one 18.41 ounces, so about a quarter of a pound. I guess isn't that much substantially different, but this just feels pretty thin. I don't know. You can even see the rivets from the handle on the other side. That's how thin this thing is. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as it can do the job, I guess it doesn't. But even like these attachments, I feel like I don't want to try that, but I could probably squeeze this and bend it. It doesn't feel like, I mean, it feels like it can even break. So all in all, I would like to open this up at some point, but this is going to be the first time I'm going to use it. I'm going to do a pizza dough. I'm going to try to do maybe 2 12-inch pizza dough balls. I think they're about a total of 700 grams of flour. It's not going to be a big need. Usually I do twice that, but this time I'm going to try to do one that's a smaller one. Actually, I might do the whole, I might double up the recipe and do 4. Yeah, maybe I might just try that. Okay, so I'm making a pizza dough recipe. It calls for about 800 grams of flour, 480 grams of water, and it makes roughly about like 350, 360 gram dough balls. So I have it all in here, have the plastic guard installed, and then we'll see how this goes. So this thing locks in place. There's a lock, and I think, oh, I didn't have it plugged in. Okay, so they say, I think for doughs, you only use the first two settings. It goes up to 6 on the dial, and then there's like a pulse where you can go back and it will do like a pulsing function, I think. But I'm just gonna do a slow mix on one first and see how it goes. Yeah, so the other thing I didn't mention is that these things have the base of this thing is on suction cups. And it sticks really well. I mean, this thing does not move at all. And I think that's the one thing I don't like about it, is it's kind of tough to get it up. But I think it's required because it is fairly light, not like the KitchenAid. So far, how do I like the kneading action? It seems to be doing pretty good. Actually, well, I'm going to put on my watt meter and see how it goes. So it is working through it. It's only pulling about 140 watts, 165 peak. It varies depending on how much torque it needs to work through the dough. But so far, just about 162 watts. And it is supposedly rated for 600 watts, but I don't know how much. Let's see. How do I like the kneading action so far on this thing? I actually really like it. Compared to the C-hook on the KitchenAid, I think this seems to be doing a better job, although now I'm kind of seeing the dough stick to it, and this is kind of a problem with the C-hook. You have to kind of push the dough down, otherwise it will rise up the hook and stay there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the setting to 2 and see how it goes. This thing seems to be moving all over the place. Like it's jumping up. Wow, I don't know. It's pulling more watts now. It's getting up to about 170 watts. At times, 165. So yeah, it's just kind of stuck on the dough hook, and they don't recommend. This thing is moving quite a bit, like you can see it going up. But I may have to get it more, because otherwise, I don't think it's going to do a great job kneading. And now it's up to about 150 watts, 160. I see it go up to as high as 160, but you know, it's not really grabbing the dough. I may have to even go higher. So 250 watts, 260, 660. Backing it down for one. So I kind of have to do that to kind of help to get the dough off the hook, because sometimes you even have to do that with the KitchenAid. Actually, you have to do that quite a lot with the KitchenAid. So I'm going to stop this thing and try to get this off the hook, because it's kind of just stuck on there like the KitchenAid with the C-hook. Okay, so I had to pull the dough off the hook, and then we will start again. And unfortunately, it just kind of stuck to the hook again. So I think that's like the biggest problem with these stand mixers and pizza doughs. Really what they need is they need a breaker bar. Like if you see high-end stand mixers the pizzerias uses, they use a spiral hook, and there's a breaker bar that comes down like this. So it prevents this kind of thing, where the dough, it just, you know, it's not really getting kneaded, it's just going in circles. And that kind of thing happens too with the pizza, with the KitchenAid and the C-hook. So honestly, so far I'm not like super impressed by the kneading action. Although it's not much better than the pizza or the KitchenAid. But so I'm gonna play with this a bit more, and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I am going to restart my what's it called, dough. I think I messed up the first one. I added too much oil, and it was just preventing gluten formation. So the dough was like really shaggy, and it was kind of tearing easily. I let it sit in autolyze for a bit, a few minutes, and that helped. I think an overnight autolyze on the previous dough would help it stabilize, but I kind of want to see the performance of this stand mixer and let it do its job. But initial impressions, to me, it's really more or less like a KitchenAid. It needs like one. It has, I mean, a different kind of dough hook, and I was hoping that the dough hook would perform better than the C hook on the KitchenAid, because that damn thing, you know, dough tends to climb and on it, and it just really just sticks to it, and it goes, it doesn't, you know, I don't know, it just doesn't really knead so well. You gotta have to keep pushing it down. But what I like about the KitchenAid as opposed to this is you can have the stand mixer not locked down. It'll just be like free floating, and the head will go up and down as it's kneading. The problem with this one is it can't really do that because it has a safety feature. It needs to be locked all the way down for you to turn it on. So that's kind of, I mean, I don't really like that as much. But otherwise, I mean, they more or less perform the same in terms of kneading action. Really, there's not much fundamentally different. It's not like a Bosch Universal Plus mixer. Those have a fundamentally different kneading action that I think is really good, and it does very great for pizza doughs like what I'm making now. So this thing has about roughly 800 grams of flour, almost 500 grams of water. It's under, maybe it's about 1200 or 1250 to 1300 grams of material all in all. So yeah, but what I didn't do in this one is I didn't add oil. I'm just gonna let it knead, and I'm gonna just go on number 2 so that it can get everything all going. One thing I have noticed with this thing is it's now making a funny whining noise. I've only been using it for about, I don't know, about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. And in the high gear, I can hear this bizarre whining noise that you can't hear. Like in the lower gear now, it kind of goes away. But in the higher gear, you can definitely hear it. And I hope that's not the gears stripping. So I don't hear it now, but anyways, I'm gonna just let this thing knead for about 5 minutes and then test it out, do the window pane test, maybe let it auto lyse a little bit and then check for strength and elasticity of the dough. But all in all, my thoughts are, like, if you want a cheaper version of the KitchenAid mixers, this would be it. Honestly, I don't really have high hopes for it in the long term. I mean, I hope it has metal gears inside. That's what I mean, the pictures seem to show that it has metal gears, and that would be a plus. But I mean, it feels quite light. It's not as heavy duty feeling as the KitchenAid mixer that my mother-in-law has. She has an old school KitchenAid mixer. This is the really good ones from back in the 80s and I think early 90s. Now there's, you know, a lot of negative opinions about KitchenAid, like their newer equipment and how they're using plastic gears, and but basically I think they've been bought out, and so that was part of the issue. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this thing, to be honest. It just doesn't feel as heavy duty and robust. But honestly, I don't think that matters as much as long as the internals are robust, like their metal gears. Then, you know, that's all that really matters, I think. And maybe like the frame here, because I kind of noticed that this thing wiggles around quite a bit. But yeah, right now it's not doing the best. Like it's kind of just stuck in the middle, going around in circles, more or less like what you see in a KitchenAid. Yeah, so basically my thoughts are, if you want a KitchenAid, a cheaper version of a KitchenAid, this would be it. If you want something that's fundamentally different, that does a much better job at kneading doughs, I would go with the Bosch at the very least. There's other ones that are, there's other stand mixers that are more exotic. I forget the names of them, like Lux, I think. But yeah, overall, like, you know, those are a lot more expensive. So okay, now I got this thing up on level 2. It goes up to 6 levels. They only recommend going up to 1 or 2 for mixing doughs. And there's also like a pulse function here. You go back and it goes at the highest speed and it spins really quickly. I don't know what that's really used for, but and that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna knead it for about a couple more minutes, but right now this is what it kind of looks like kneading at speed 2. On my watt meter, it's barely pulling 100 watts. I've seen it on the previous stove when it was really torquing, go up to about 200 watts, and I had it at the highest setting. I may have to stop this and push the dough down because it's just going around in circles. Okay, I had to push the dough down, but immediately when you get it going, if it's like the KitchenAid, it'll just start climbing like no one's business. So I'm gonna turn that to a higher gear. And because of that, since I adjusted it, I see it now going up to about 132, 140, depending on if this thing catches. So yeah, Now that it's working harder with the dough on the bottom, you're getting about 140 watts of electricity power coming through. Whether this can do 600 watts, I don't know. I mean, the most I've seen on this is about 200 with the earlier dough. And after like maybe 10 minutes of that, it started making this weird kind of whining noise. I know it was like a higher pitched, like whining noise. It was not super audible, but it came out of nowhere and it kind of worried me. So I don't know. One day I'm gonna open this up, take it apart, and see what the gears look like, and then maybe update my review. But so far, yeah, the kneading action is just like a KitchenAid, and I'm just really not super impressed with it. Although if you're looking for a KitchenAid, I mean, a cheaper version of a KitchenAid, this would be it. Okay, so now and these things really just need like a breaker bar, like that comes down to help separate the dough, like in a spiral mixer that you use in professional pizzerias. I mean, those very large spiral mixers, they have a breaker bar to help not only with the kneading action, but it prevents a sort of like climbing. But now it kind of seems like now it's doing a better job of kneading. It actually looks like it's now kneading. Maybe I'll turn the speed down now to 1. And so we're about 6 minutes into the knead. And I don't know, maybe I'll test it out in a bit, but it still looks, let me see. It still looks kind of shaggy a little. Yeah. It's not very well developed. It's kind of shaggy, just coming apart, like breaking apart. So yeah, I thought maybe it was the oil, but maybe it's just the mixer. This is a 61% hydration dough, by the way. So it's even with humidity, it shouldn't be like really that bad. Okay, so now that I let the dough rest and auto ice, it's window painting pretty well, and the dough has some pretty good structure and elasticity, but it's not like the best dough I've ever seen coming out of a mixer, but it's pretty much like what you would expect out of a stand mixer like this. It's really just like a KitchenAid, like an Artisan, or I don't know, like one of their older mixers. And it's just the nature of the beast. These are what these kind of mixers are like. Ideally, I would like to get a spiral mixer, one with a breaker bar, or something like a Bosch would be great. But you know, they're a lot more expensive, and this is way more cheap. But yeah, I mean, I think after a few autolyses, you just let it sit there for a while, let the dough absorb all the water. You could do like several more kneads and then try to form the dough. But ideally, the way that a good mixer should work is it should be like trapping air, and this doesn't really trap air. Like neither does a KitchenAid, and that's basically because of the way it kneads. It should be like folding over its the dough should be folding over itself. Like they're kind of when you do stretch and folds, you're doing that to help trap air, but this doesn't do that. So all in all, it's just like a KitchenAid, and my final assessment is that it's just a cheaper KitchenAid. I mean, I just saw one on sale today that was a 5.5 quart one that was maybe a little bit less than twice as much as what this would cost. And I honestly, they're really just the same. This is like, who knows, maybe this might not last as long as the KitchenAid. We'll see. I'll update the review if that ever happens. I mean, it does feel cheaper built. It's not as heavy. It's, you know, maybe just under 10 pounds minus this part, the bowl. The bowl is just a little over a pound, and it feels very thin and light. But you know, it does get the job done. It's not warping or anything. So maybe they just realize that, hey, why are we overbuilding these things? It's not that important. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just gonna do one last knead, and then you'll see how it mixes a dough that's kind of well developed. And with the well-developed dough, it definitely stresses out the motor a bit more, the gears, because right now on my watt meter there, it's hitting about 160 at times. So I'm just going to do one last quick knead and let it rest again. And then I think that should be it. So all in all, I think, you know, with the attachments, the bowl, the overall design, it's good. I mean, I would recommend it as much as I would recommend a KitchenAid. So this is the dough after an overnight ferment, and it's been auto-lysing all night. Usually, like whenever you make dough, the most important step for a well-formed, well-developed dough is the auto-lyse, I think. And how well does it hold up? I mean, how well formed is the dough? This is elasticity. It does tear still, but you can window pane it pretty nicely. So it's kind of tough to do with just one hand because I'm recording, but yeah, so pretty nice window pane, still tears. So what do I think after all this? It's basically like a KitchenAid, and every stand mixer I've ever used like a KitchenAid just generally sucks at kneading pizza dough or making really well developed different types of like lower hydration doughs. Anything within like the 50 to, I would say, maybe 75% range of hydration. Definitely higher hydration doughs are a lot harder for stand mixers, and you would generally need to move on to something like a Bosch or and Carsum. I can't really pronounce their name, but those kneaders look really good for higher hydration doughs. But even I've heard I've read online that with really high hydration dose, they struggle. Whereas this, you can use like the cake batter accessory, I think, to help mix up the dough. But generally for me, my main litmus test is doing like pizza doughs and bread doughs, because this is what I primarily make. And I don't know, every stand mixer that I've tried just generally doesn't do that great of a job. And this one is no exception. As you can see, the dough still tears. I would say this is really no better than just doing a slap and fold method. So, yeah. And I don't really do like a lot of cake batters or like creams, whipped cream, that sort of thing. We may my wife does that here and there whenever she does baked items with for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So we'll update the review whenever we need to do that. But I think generally a hand mixer works also well for that. So overall, I think if my final thought again is, if you're looking for a cheaper version of a KitchenAid, this pretty much fits that bill. But again, I don't know about the longevity of this, because it is made of mostly plastic. I don't know if the gears are plastic. The bowl itself is pretty thin gauged. But again, whether or not that actually matters is a whole nother thing, because we have a lot of Ninja blenders and they're all plastic and they held up fine over the years. So, but yeah, I'm gonna make a pizza with this tonight, and then I will update the review on what I think. But already I can tell it's tearing. It's not the most well developed dough. So kind of disappointed there.
Hi, I'm doing a review today on this Kitchen in the Box stand mixer. This is the company is by Kitchen in the Box stand mixer. This is the product number right here, KSM62. Okay, it comes with a hook right here, the whisk, and the beater. Okay, this is the gorgeous stand mixer. It also comes in different colors. The colors that it comes with is black, white, gray, which you can see the check mark. We have the gray one, and it also comes in this red. Again, it's by this company right here. So let's take a look at this stand mixer. Also, I want to say, these are some more things that's on the box. It says your best kitchen helper, 660 watts, powerful motor, 360. Okay. Thirdly, kneading and mixing the ingredients, 6-speed. All right, function, mixes bread dough, thick batter, and so much more, you guys. So it's a 6.5 quart stainless steel bowl, which is awesome. That's a pretty big bowl. All right, so without further ado, let's look at the stand mixer itself. Look at that, you guys. That is gorgeous. Just take a look at it. Just give you this overlay. This is the 6.5 quart bowl right here, which is gorgeous. It has a lock feature on the bowl to kind of show you that to this way. Once you turn it, it locks this way so the bowl is not going nowhere. So you turn it back the opposite way, like that, and you can remove the bowl. Look at that. Now, as you can see, these grooves in the inside, that's how the bowl get locks in there in place. So I'm gonna put the bowl back and turn it, and it locks in. Okay, so these are your different things. First, I want to show you, it does come with a stand mixer instruction manual. All right, it says household use only. Okay, so it's not really the commercial kind, but it is household use. Even though it's big and beautiful, household use. Okay, it says please retain this manual for further reference. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so these are technical data's general safety instructions, and it shows you again all of the parts. This right here is a bowl lid. you just place it up here, and it kind of helps you like a splash guard in a sense right here. This little lid right here, it helps you like a splash guard. Okay, so when you have it down, you can, and it's a little hole right here to kind of show you where you can. It ain't nothing can come out on the outside. As you can see, it's full, but up in here it's like an opening. So that's where you put your ingredients at, which is cool. All right, so I'm gonna let it up. Now, right here, we got the donut hook, or the dough hook, rather. Excuse me. All right, we have the beater, which is this mechanism right here, and we have a whisk, which is here. All right. Also, it doesn't mention it in the instruction manual, but it did come with this spatula. Oh, and I really don't know what this is, but I'm thinking it's an egg separator. You can put the actual egg in there, and the yolk could be right here. So it may not be that, but it did come with it. Okay, which is awesome. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how easy it is just to put the mechanism on here. It has these hooks on here, a hook right here, a hook right there, and you see these grooves. So that's all you got to do is just put it in there. Once it's in there, let me turn it around. Okay, so you put it in there, and once it's in there, just turn, and it locks in. Now, the cool part about this is it has this like almost like an LCD panel right here. So when I push it down, this is gonna light up. Now, you do have a cord. You just plug it in your wall outlet. So I'm gonna put it down, and I'm gonna show you right quick. When I put it down, you'll see that the LED will flash. So now it's ready to use. So it has 1, 0, all the way to 6 different speeds. And it has the power speed mode where you can just press it that way like a pulse. It has that. So as you can see, once you look in there, I'm going to put it on the first speed all the way up. And I'm going to keep going. Powerful. Perfect. This is very, very nice, you guys. Very much worth it. And here go the power mode. When I put it all the way to this power mode, you can see it right here. So it's like it goes 0 to 60, just like that. And here's the button that you press when you want to lift it up, because it won't lift up until you press this button down. There you go. And again, it's as simple as twist, pull out. And you can replace each and every one of these items with that same mechanism, that twist and pull out mechanism. Put it in. There you go. Twist, pull out. Last but not least, you got your beater. It's the same ordeal. You're in there. Put it down. Ready to go. All right, you guys. I definitely think it's worth the price. It's big. It's gorgeous. Very elegant. And as you can see, it works flawless. Thank you so much. I hope you guys like this review. I hope this review helped you make a great decision on this product. Kitchen in a box. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
about 2 minutes now. So I'm gonna stop and open it up. And this is what I don't like. I'm trying to get it. It don't mix. I don't know if I can show you how tough it is at the bottom. So it don't mix to the bottom, and see all that batter that it didn't mix because it's not scraping the bottom. So I'll mix it up and then turn it back on. And that's it. That's what I don't like about it.